Alright everybody, welcome back to Conquering Commander. Today we're going to be looking at a game featuring my Grimgrin Corpseborn deck. For the complete deck list, go to puremtgo.com, look up my article series Conquering Commander. You'll see it printed out nicely and neatly there for you. And hopefully I should have a link to the deck list in the video description as well. Let's take a look at our opponents right now. First up we have Thraximundar, who is a big beefy commander who comes out hasty and can hurt people. Now, I've seen Thraximundar head up zombie tribal decks, but most often he's usually Grixis control, usually creature light, and can do a lot of bad things to you if you are not prepared. So, got to worry a little bit about Thrax. Thassa, God of the Sea, is one of the new Theros gods here, and usually the way I've seen Thassa is mono blue control. I haven't seen it, well, I've only seen it like once before, and both of the times were mono blue control, so we'll see what this person brings to the table here with Thassa. And then last up, we've got Ashling the Pilgrim. Ashling, I've seen played on a variety of decks, but this guy uses him as in sort of a chaos control version deck. So it'll be interesting to see what Ashling brings to the table as well. Taking a look at my hand, I've got 3 lands, but Phyrexian Arena. So as long as I can cast Phyrexian Arena on turn 3, I almost always keep the hand. My play space is right here with the Sacred Foundry art. Let's get going. Thassa starts the things off. Nothing interesting the first couple turns. I don't play a first turn Skull Clamp because I've seen before where the clamp just gets automatically blown up before you can use it if you do that. But this is before I realized that there's nobody playing green or white at this table. So dealing with the artifact is a little more difficult. Red does have artifact destruction. But most of the time green and white are the big heavy hitters with that. I draw Cabal Coffers. That's not going to be too helpful right now. Thassa comes out and is going to help that person by scrying. I go ahead and do a turn 3 Phyrexian Arena. Worn Power Stone for Thrax. Thassa does nothing besides lay land. Everybody's hitting their land drops. I draw Dreadship Reef. I play Skull Clamp, and that gets Dismal Failured. So what I end up doing is I discard Geth. I had Geth Lord of the Vault in my hand, and I discard it because I know I can bring it back with my Haven Ghoul Lich. I thought it was interesting that he'd counter the Skull Clamp, but you know. Clamp can be a nice little card drawing machine. Thrax, however, takes advantage of that by playing Mystic Remora and Bitter Blossom, which I think. Oh, and then he Bojuka Bogs Thassa. So I'm going to keep the exiled cards open, and you'll see why later. All right. Thassa plays a Nimbus Naiad, which is a flying nymph. Ashling is still just dropping land. I draw a land and I play it, and I play Haven Ghoul Lich, so that I can hopefully bring Geth back at some point. Mystic Remora hasn't drawn him any cards yet, but he does play Propaganda, and he is making blockers. So Thrax is going to be real difficult to deal with here. Augur of Bolus reveals Disperse. Tandem Lookout lets Nimbus Maze or Nimbus Naiad draw a card when she hits, and I get attacked. Crux Thumb allows the Thrax player to draw a card. I try to attack Thrax first, but I can't because of Propaganda. So I attack Ashling. Once again, Thrax is making more fairies. Plays Felwar Stone to ramp a little bit. And does a whole lot of nothing. Last Thoughts is going to cipher. So he's got like incremental card draw. And I've got Soul Manipulation in hand, but I forget that it only counters target creature spells. It can't target any other spells. So, anyways, Last Thoughts gets ciphered onto the Nimbus Triad and Tandem Lookout. So Puppet's Verdict. Okay. So Ashling plays Puppet's Verdict, and with the thumb out there, it's going to be pretty easy for him to win. She tries to dissolve it. The Thassa player does. I'm going to go ahead and try and Soul Manipulation the dissolve because I want the Puppet's Verdict to resolve. However, I can't. I can't do it. So instead, I just end up getting Geth back to my hand. This lets the Thrax player draw a ton of cards. And Thassa is going to be drawing a bunch of cards too. And the cipher is like casting a card, so Mystic Remora triggers again. Pyrrhemia is going to come out. And is going to be problematic for all the small creatures out there. So I play Dark Prophecy, and Thrax is just drawing a ton of cards. He's up to 11 cards in hand now. And I've got nobody I really want to attack at the moment. Thrax lets the Mystic Remora go because he's got plenty of cards now. And he plays Vicious Shadows. And so Ashling activates the Pyrrhemia before Shadows hits. Because he's got 5 cards in hand. Thassa has 7. Thrax has 10. I've got 6. Everybody's going to get really hurt. And then Thrax Vampiric Tutors for something. And discards a Vandal Blast and a land. Enclave Cryptologist for Thassa. And then Inactive... I don't know. What is this? Inaction Injunction. Detains somebody. It's basically a cycling card. It draws and detains things. Fine, whatever. No attacks. But he does play Prognostic Sphinx. And that gives Thassa enough devotion to actually be a creature. And then Thieves Auction comes out. Okay, so Thieves Auction... Wait, stop. Stop! Okay. Thieves Auction. I've been getting beat up a little bit. I'm down to 29 life. I decided that what I want to do is I want to grab the Propaganda. Ashling grabs the Vicious Shadows. These are the big important things. And then Thassa grabs Bitter Blossom. And then after this, it's just a matter of getting the lands. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that's going on. Thassa is stealing all my freaking blue producing lands, which kind of sucks. It's pretty annoying, actually. Ashling not only gets Kirk's Thumb back, but also gets Pyrrhemia back, and my Phyrexian Arena. I picked up the Prognostic Sphinx because I want to be able to scry. And some lands. And I picked up Bojuka Bog, and I managed to steal a couple of islands as well. And I Bojuka Bogged somebody. Oh yeah. I Bojuka Bogged Thrax. So, let's take a look at the board state now. Thassa has Bitter Blossom and an Enclave Cryptologist. Thrax has my Haven Ghoul Lich and a bunch of land and Dark Prophecy. And Ashling has Phyrexian Arena, Krark's Thumb, Vicious Shadows, and Pyrrhemia. The Vicious Shadows with Pyrrhemia and a Bitter Blossom is going to be problematic for people. So I realize I need to start dumping my hand, and I need to do it now. I go ahead and attack the Thassa player while I can. I do a little scrying. I play Diregraph Ghoul, or Captain, and Grimgrin, because I can sacrifice some of these other guys. Sword of Feast and Famine, however, is bad news for me. And so, and he also plays Chromatic Lantern. It makes my Mutavault a creature as well. And he attacks the Ashling player. And Thassa. And then he plays Land Equilibrium. Land Equilibrium is problematic for me because what I wanted to do next turn was to be able to play Coffers. But unfortunately, he's only got 5 lands, and I went kind of heavy on the lands during Thieves Auction. So, I'm not going to be able to play Coffers without sacrificing a land. Unlikely I'm going to sacrifice an island, but it's still problematic. Thassa's going to get a token. Thassa's at 31 now. And then plays Distant Memories. He searches up Steel Hellkite, and nobody gives it to him, so he draws the cards. And to me, drawing the cards when Vicious Shadows is out there is not the best plan. Nobody here can really deal with Vicious Shadows other than All Is Dust or Oblivion Stone or something. Or bouncing it, I guess. There's that too. Alright. So let's see what happens here. He plays Wild Evocation. Wild Evocation is going to do good for me in that it's going to get cards out of my hand. Unfortunately, it's going to end up picking Shizo first. And I have to discard or destroy another land. I end up attacking... who did I attack? Oh no, I didn't attack anybody. I just sacrificed the Augur of Bolas to Grimgrin so that he could untap. And then I think I attack... I send my Sphinx after Thrax, and I send Grimgrin after Ashling. I didn't want to kill off any of these guys yet. Obviously, I can't kill off the Lich because it has the sword on it. I can't kill it off with Grimgrin. I'd rather just go ahead and get in some damage right now. And I scry. And I get Mana Drain, and I leave that on top of my library, I think. And then I go ahead and play Geth. There he is. So Wild Evocation reveals a mountain for Thrax. I'm fine with that. That means that he's closer to allowing me to play my coffers without hurting me. He manages to play Thrax and equips it with a sword. And then plays another land. And I get attacked with Thrax, and the Lich goes after Ashling. I'm fine with that. It means that I'm going to be able to discard another card in order to get out from under Vicious Shadows. Even with my propaganda. Oh, and then Thassa plays Frost Breath to tap 2 of my creatures, Geth and Diregraph Captain. My plan right now is to use Geth to get Augur of Bolas out of Thassa's graveyard, and then feed the Augur to Grimgrin. And then I discard like a swamp, I think, or something like that. What do I discard? Yeah, I discard the swamp. And Vicious Shadow... Okay, so Ashling's down to 14. Ashling's been using Vicious Shadows to bing Thassa a little bit. Interestingly, Thrax plays Recurring Insight. He's got 3 cards in hand. He's going to draw 6 more. He's going to be up to 9. He's going to have like 7 cards in hand or something like that when he's all done. There's Mana Vault for more mana, and then Demonic Tutor, and then he gets Soul Ring, and then he plays Sword of Light and Shadow. problematic. So Island gets revealed off of Wild Evocation. He creates another fairy token. So right now, with just one activation of Pyrohemia, he's going to be able to kill off 3 dudes. Divination, Thassa draws more cards, and then plays Archaeomancer to put Distant Memories back in his hand. That's right. And he does not attack. So Wild Evocation gets a mountain for Ashling. Then he plays Orcish Librarian and does nothing. Wild Evocation gets my Phyrexian Reclamation. What I really wanted was Eldrazi Monument. I play the coffers, and then I go ahead and I've got Reassembling Skeleton to feed to Grimgrin. But first I play Eldrazi Monument, and then I play the skeleton. I feed it to Grimgrin, and Ashling is clearly targeting these 2 guys now, the Thassa player and the Thrax player. And so he's got, I knocked Thrax down to 10 with my big Grimgrin, and Thassa's down to 17. Thrax tries to Cryptic Command and bounce Vicious Shadows. The Ashling player is not going to let that happen. He's going to Pyrohemia and ding everybody except me. He doesn't hit me very much, but he manages to hit Thrax pretty good and kill off a bunch of creatures, and knocks Thassa out first. Oh no, he knocks Thrax out first. That's right. So the good thing about knocking Thrax out first is that the Vicious Shadows is now gone. It's kaput. But I do lose my Dark Prophecy and my Mutavault, and I've got no cards in hand now too. And that's helpful as well because he couldn't hit me at the time with the Vicious Shadows. So with Thassa at 3 now, Ashling's just going to activate the Pyrohemia a couple more times and kill Thassa off. And that's exactly what happened. Oh, and I try to steal Augur of Bolas out of Thassa's graveyard, and she tries to disperse Pyrohemia, but it doesn't matter. She dies anyways. She still has my my Phyrexian Arena, and then he casts Pyrohemia, and then he scramble versus. Okay, wait, stop. He scramble versus. All right. So for each non-land permanent, choose a player at random. Then each player gains control of each permanent of which he or she was chosen. So I had 3 creatures out, and I just want to sacrifice them because I'm at 11 right now, and it only takes like 1 hit from each of these guys. So I sacrifice both Geth and my Diregraph Captain to Grimgrin. And that right now Ashling's at 7. And I just got to hope that I manage to keep Grimgrin. It's 50-50 shot. And what happens? I do. Eldrazi Monument. I get my Phyrexian Arena back. I lose Eldrazi Monument, but it doesn't matter. He's at 6, and I've got a 10-10 Grimgrin. So that's a freaking goofy game. Thieves Auction and Scrambleverse. Holy cow. And I did get Tombstone Stairwell, but I didn't really have a whole lot in the graveyard. So yeah. Sometimes you can pull off wins even when there's chaos all over the place. I think the Thraximundar player could have been really problematic if the Thieves Auction hadn't occurred. But there we go. It's a win for Grimgrin, and I will take it. Alright, thanks guys.